I denounce white supremacy.
Okay.
And frankly, you want to know something? I denounce Antifa, and I denounce these people on the left that are burning down our cities that are run by Democrats.
And what's he doing? Nothing. He's still not wearing masks and so on.
So President Trump was on NBC, Joe Biden on ABC. Hard to believe both aired at once, but it is 2020. And so we have had to divide and conquer with these dueling events. Paul Hunter watched Donald Trump's town hall. Katie Simpson tracked the Joe Biden event. So, Paul, let's start with you and the president. Last time he unleashed, fire, fury, some contempt for Joe Biden. What about tonight?
Well, he was fiery and furious, or so it seemed. Look, there was plenty thrown at Donald Trump tonight. His handling of the pandemic, his plans for health care, his tax returns, you name it. I'm going to say not an awful lot was learned, but it was pretty lively. He sure seemed energized. And when he got punched, he punched back. I want to play a couple of clips. First, on something a lot of people here are worried about. That is, if he loses on election night, will he accept a peaceful transfer of power? He said that's what he wants to see, but he seemed to leave open what could happen if it's not a fair election, as he suggested in the past. Keep in mind, there's never been any evidence of significant electoral fraud in this country. Nonetheless, he took a shot at Democrats on this and, in effect, said, we'll see. Here's the clip.
They talk about the peaceful transfer, right? They spied on my campaign and they got caught, and they spied heavily on my campaign, and they tried to take down a duly elected sitting president. And then they talk about, will you accept a peaceful transfer? And the answer is yes, I will. But I want it to be an honest election, and so does everybody else. Peaceful transfer, I absolutely want that. But ideally, I don't want to transfer because I want to win.
Now, one of the off-the-wall, hot-button issues he talked about was QAnon. And this kind of got him going. For those who don't know, QAnon is an online group that promotes ugly conspiracy theories. For example, that certain Democrats and others in the so-called deep state are satanic worshiping pedophiles. Goes the thinking. People who believe that stuff won't vote for Democrats. It's been completely debunked, but Trump has promoted that. He was asked tonight why. Here's some of that.
I just don't know about QAnon.
You do know.
I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know.
Let me ask you another thing.
Let's waste a whole show. You start off with white supremacy, I denounce it. You start off with something else. Let's go. Keep asking me these questions.
I do have one more in this vein.
Let me just tell you, what I do hear about it is they are very strongly against pedophilia, and I agree with that.
Keep in mind that right now Trump is far behind in the polls and he is running out of time. Adrian, 18 days left to campaign and one debate with Joe Biden left to sort it all out. We'll see.
All right, Paul Hunter in Washington, thanks very much. So now Katie Simpson watched the other side for us this evening. Katie, was the tone at Biden's event any different?
Well, it was exactly like a traditional town hall you'd see before the Trump era. Questions from voters, answers about policy, and Joe Biden laying out his vision for the country. His main goal tonight was to make sure he maintains his lead in the polls by not having any major unforced errors. He stuck to his talking points. He made his closing argument to voters by attacking the president's handling of COVID.
The words of a president matter.
Absolutely.
No matter whether they're good, bad, or indifferent, they matter. And when a president doesn't wear a mask or makes fun of folks like me when I was wearing a mask for a long time, then, people say, well, it mustn't be that important.
This town hall was far less combative than the last debate or even Trump's event. Biden followed up with voters to see if he'd answered their questions to their satisfaction and even stuck around to answer questions for another 30 minutes after.
Okay, so it seems he might be leading in the polls, but he was asked about what happens if he doesn't win. What did he say?
Well, the Biden campaign is trying to do everything it can to not appear too confident and too cocky. They need to make sure the base shows up on Election Day, and they need to really make sure that they mobilize that team. But the U.S. is so divided right now, and Biden offered a very candid response about what happens and what it says about the state of the country if he loses.
You could say that I'm a lousy candidate and I didn't do a good job. But I think, I hope that it doesn't say that we are as racially, ethnically, and religiously at odds with one another as it appears the president wants us to be.
Biden says if he is elected, he vows to be the president for the people who did vote for him, as well as the people who did not vote for him. As he returns to the campaign trail, he's going to be trying to do everything he can to protect his lead in the national polls and try and run out that clock.
All right, thank you, Katie. Katie Simpson at her home in Washington tonight, as you do.